Hello friends, welcome in. I'm glad you're with me today. We are going to do a Shop My Stash video. That means going into my collection, pulling out some things that haven't been used in a while, giving them some love, getting reacquainted. I think it's really important to do that, and anytime I get the feeling that like, maybe you should do a Shop My Stash video, I run with it. I trust that feeling because I think these are really important videos to do. I feel like with the sheer amount of stuff that comes out in the makeup world, we have to try to stay in touch with the other stuff too that's not brand new. And I think just being more in tune with things that aren't brand spanking new gives you a greater frame of reference when reviewing something that is new. The comparison's important, you know? I feel like my camera's kind of off. Also, I redid my background. I've got little white pom-poms, but you can't quite tell from this distance. I've used those in the past, but yeah, you can't really see them. And then this is a little bear that Bub gave me for Valentine's Day. It's like covered in flowers. It's so cute. I had no idea such a thing existed. Anyways, we're gonna get started. I've got my bag full of goodies here, and it's a total mix of drugstore and high-end because I feel like there's a lot of high-end things I should probably spend a little more time with. Sometimes I get in a real drugstore roll these days, and it's not all about drugstore. But I am gonna start out with a primer that's drugstore, and I also already have my skincare on. This is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. I really like this primer. I do find that it makes a difference on pores. It goes on in a really smooth and easy way. It kind of has this quality where you feel like it's hanging together a bit, like kind of stretching across your skin. I don't know why I haven't used it recently because I really enjoy it. I had recently reworked the drawer that holds primers, concealers, just any kind of prep type of product, and I guess it kind of got pushed to the back. She just goes on like softly. It's kind of hard to explain. There's a softness to this primer. And the poreless putty that's in the little tub is good too, but there's just an added ease with this. And it does have an impact on pores, and I do think it can help foundations go on a bit more evenly. I pulled in some Danessa Myricks. I want to do like a full brand video on Danessa Myricks because as I look at my collection, I've got a lot. I really have tried a lot from this brand in terms of her complexion products, especially. I also have like a blush palette and eye kind of combo palette. But this is the serum foundation, the Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. Recently in a little like face of the day, I had used her like tinted moisturizer product. That's really good too. It adds a lot of moisture, light coverage, but this is really some serious coverage. N9 is the shade. And it's just been a brand where I've tried various launches as they've come out. I have talked about them in videos, but I haven't given the brand like a devoted video, and I think I should. Packaging's kind of cool here. You actually squeeze right in this area. You just squeeze out what feels right to you. I'm going to take what feels like a full pump and just dab this around. Did I say what my shade was? I think I did, but N9. Dot it all around. And you're gonna see this has some beautiful coverage. I wonder if I should go back to my little like eucalyptus looking vines. Those little white balls, you can kind of see them right here. They're not really popping. Stay on track. Look at this, like we're talking full coverage. Hear the word serum and you think thin, light, maybe. This one came to cover. Just wait, we'll get it all blended in well. I feel like I have a lot of product on. I probably didn't need that much, but we'll work some of it up to the forehead because there's not that much up there. I mean, can you see anything through it? It's like coverage, but it's got a glow. See the gleam? Really need to work this in though around the nose. If you ever feel like you've gotten too much on, I think you need to really spend extra time blending. Make sure there's just not too much in any one place. Look how pretty though. And look at the skin up close. If you're one who really needs like a hydrating look and feel, but you also want full coverage, you know, full coverage doesn't always have to mean matte. This is the exception to that. Really dabbing around that under eye area because I want to make sure there's not too much product. The skin's looking amazing right now, but next what I pulled in for concealer, good old Maybelline Fit Me. Yeah, haven't used this in a long time. This is the shade 10 Fair. Not a bad product, not your highest coverage product, but I guess I am pairing it with a pretty high coverage foundation, so this is probably gonna work out fairly well. I'm going to use my Duo brush here. This is a good concealer to use if you really are not seeking the most coverage. You want something somewhat lightweight. I feel like it's even lighter coverage than the Age Rewind. But as you'll see, this shade is kind of brightening on me. and it's gonna do well. My under eye was practically fully covered and taken care of by the foundation. I did have to wipe my nose real quick, and this can go over that. You know, this might be a really good touch-up concealer, given its lightness. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's a do-nothing concealer. Like, it really does do some work. But it's just not on the same playing field as things like e.l.f. Camo Concealer, Revlon Color Stay Flex Wear, those various ones. For this look today, I feel like it leveled up our brightness in this general zone without even applying that much. Oh, it's a second snow day today. I'm shooting this on Thursday. We were off on Wednesday. That was the morning after we got our big snow, which Bub and I estimated we maybe had 8 inches out there in an area that didn't appear to be drifted over. And then today it's like super duper cold. It's 5 degrees right now. So no school again. What am I gonna do with these kids? And it's a really light, fluffy snow to where we struggled to sled in it yesterday. We went up, we have a great big hill behind our house. Perfect for sledding generally, but the sled just like sunk down into it, and nobody could even be pushed down. I don't know what was going on. Like I said, maybe the key will be sledding after this has a chance to just melt a little bit, because it just needs some slip. It was all just powder that we were walking around in. It's not snowball making snow. It's not snowman building snow. For my under eye area, I pulled out a loose powder that I feel like it's in my rotation, but I just haven't used it a lot lately. It's the One Size powder. This is the translucent shade. And this is a small size actually, but it feels kind of ample, you know? I actually have this that came in like a duo of products once upon a time, and I have an even tinier size that I forgot. I sometimes do travel with that. Look at that size. It's so small. Both of them are translucent powder. But this is a solid product. I feel like this is an under eye setting powder type of thing that does definitely add some coverage. I don't think it's as sneaky and visible as Laura Mercier Ultra Blur. I don't think it's quite as brightening as Maybelline Fit Me. So that's probably why it's fallen into kind of a place of not continual use. But that's okay, we can still like it. I still enjoy it. I'm getting it in around my nose because I think I'm gonna need that for the extra staying power. I do enjoy playing in the snow. You know, I talk about on here a lot how much I love snow and I love getting snowstorms and stuff like that. But I'm a really good like indoor cozy person too. I blew up the air mattress in the living room. We're having hot chocolate. We're watching movies. I've made my best soup, my vegetable beef soup in the crock pot. You know, I'm good at hunkering down generally. I say that now, but wait till it's been a couple more days, I'm gonna be tired of hunkering down. I'm gonna dust some of this excess away. And you can see what I mean. Like, I feel like this powder adds coverage, but it also adds a little bit of the look of powder. But pretty good, pretty good. I mean, I'm very happy with the way my skin's looking overall right now. It's just, I know you guys would want to know, well, what makes this different? What sets this one apart from other things you've used? So I just try to give my best description. Now for my bronzer, here's something I just do not reach for much. It's my Patrick Ta. It's the Cream and Powder Contour Duo. She's Sculpted is the shade. So you got your cream up here, your powder down here. I don't know why. I just don't go for this a whole lot. I do feel like when I use the brush, and I have the Patrick Ta brush here too, it's got like kind of a chunky, thick fan brush and then a brush for powder. I feel like if I dip in with the brush, that end, I don't get enough impact from this contour. There are deeper tones too. I got some on there now, and then I'm gonna blend with that brush. Can we fall in love with this product again? I think I purchased this during the time that like Patrick Ta straight up visited Alex Earle and was doing her and her friend's makeup like on the spot. I don't know, it was a very smart like marketing relationship on the part of Patrick Ta. Let's see, it blends really well. The cream is very, just the tone of this particular cream I think is pretty soft and light. But if there's ever a time I can make it work, it would be when my skin's a little lighter like this in the winter. See, that's very natural. Some of you guys are probably really rooting for that. That's good. Just kind of dabbing, pressing over it. What do we think? Really naturally contoured there. And then we can go into the powder, which I do love his packaging. I really like how they're both separated. We're gonna go into that pretty, more bronzy looking powder. The cream looks a little cooler. Feel a little out of control with the size of this brush. There's a Shop My Stash concept, brushes that aren't my norm, because man, do we get comfortable with our certain brushes. And since this is more bronzy, I'm also going to try to take it up a little higher than where the contour was applied. Like kind of on it and also above it. Something I've been getting so much use out of this winter is my electric kettle. It's so nice for whipping up some tea. Or Belle, she likes those ramen noodles in the cup, and sometimes I'll just, get that hot water, pour it into the cup, let it sit for a minute. But generally like tea, hot cocoa. I love it, and it like changes colors as it heats up. It's really pretty. I got it a couple years ago. I think I talked about it, but maybe I need to re-find it and link it. The name of the game with this is Subtle on me. This shade called Cheese Sculpted. I can see the work that it's done, but it's been very soft. What about blush? Well, I looked into my cream drawer and my powder drawer, so we're gonna do two. Layer up a little bit. I pulled out Caramel Dusk from the Rimmel Kind and Free line. There is a really rich berry from this line that I like a lot, but this I feel like has not gotten much use. It feels a little stiff crossing my skin, not that glide of the Physicians Formula. However, it's a pretty color, and I'm going in with good old Sephora 56 here, and it's looking like warm peachy pink. She's blending out all right. Maybe she just needs to be warmed up a little bit. Oh, I have some new stuff from Profusion. They sent over a PR package full of there's a random new, would you call it a collab? It's a Casper and Hot Stuff collab, but it has some interesting products in it, but it seems so random to me. And then just a bunch of new freestanding products. So maybe a new Profusion video soon. So there's what that looks like. One pretty generous swipe. Kind of soft. And then I thought, you haven't used CoverGirl Cheekers in a long time, so I pulled out Soft Sable. This always comes off as such a neutral looking blush to me, but it does have some sheen. And we're going to go over top with this. And I think it's going to add a little dusty rose look. See that cheek now? It just looks airbrushed now over here compared to that, plus a little more colorful. See, I love that. Maybe let it come over the nose just a little bit. Really pretty. Then for highlighter, I picked out Milani Baked highlighter. Shade is Dolce Perla. So this is a pretty highlight. I never give it quite as much credit as that other one that I have in the mini, the Afterglow, Strobe Light, whatever. But this is very pretty too. Brightening, but soft. It's baked. And my mind always goes to Laura Geller when I see baked stuff. This is like if Laura Geller did a combination of baked French vanilla with one of her more shimmery highlighters. And absolutely stirred them up, mixed them together, and then baked them like that. Because this has a softness to it as well. But can't you see the brightening quality? But no shimmer flecks. It's a good one. I need to use this more. A little on the Cupid's bow, perhaps? Yeah, I'm into that. I like that level of glow a lot. So what have we enjoyed most out of the complexion stuff so far? You really gotta respect the Yummy Skin Serum Foundation. That's doing a ton. That covered a lot. It's giving straight up full coverage, but it's able to give you glow as well. I think that's a really good product. I'm glad I used it again. I do like this primer too. This primer works well with a lot of things, feels very smooth and softening as it goes across. Love some CoverGirl Cheekers. That satin finish sort of airbrushing that it does across the top of, a more dewy blush. That's so pretty to me, and of course this slay. I do like the Maybelline Fit Me concealer too. It's good, but there wasn't much asked of it today, you know what I mean? We're gonna move on to brows. I pulled out a little 3-in-1 thing that I love, but I have not used lately. It's the Estee Lauder Brow Perfect 3D All-in-One Styler in Cool Brown, and it has your pencil, a skinny pencil. It has a dabber of powder, and then it also has a gel down in the bottom. So it really is like a little travel friendly gem, and I kind of think I reserve it that way, although I didn't travel with it recently. But day to day, I feel like I avoid it and think, I'll save that for travel. And either way, I've been forgetting about it, so let's remember it. Really good tone on this. Good texture too. Like I said, skinny shape, but just lays down really easily. Soft, but not too soft. Okay, I think I got it pretty well filled in. The one thing you don't have here is a bare spoolie. And I do like to kind of go through and make sure as I brush up a bit that I haven't missed some spaces. And then you got your little powder dabber, which is kind of nice if you did miss something. Or if you just want a straight up softer look the whole way around and skip pencil, you could do that too. So nice. And it was just a really good tone for me. And then it's clear gel down here at the end. And I love this. This is so handy. Gel, I am feeling a hold. As I recall, this holds pretty well. So yeah, great little brown. Sometimes when I'm doing Shop My Stash, I'm not always thinking like, what do I personally really want to choose to use? Sometimes I'm thinking, what would people like to see me use? Well, with the eye palette, I went back and forth on that. I had a certain thing that I really wanted to use. And then I set it aside and I thought, let me look through and see if there's anything else that I think my viewers would really like. Milani eyeshadow primer, not straying there. But then I came back and said, no, go with your gut, use the thing that you really feel like using today. So I will. It's this. It's the Viseart Neutral Mattes Malo palette. I love blending these warm shades and I love this intensity down here. This is one of my all-time favorite palettes, period. Like if I had a little hall of fame of just my personal faves, I love this. Happened to be wearing this when I gave birth to Uga. And a neat thing that's happened with a lot of Viseart stuff is this is like an $80 palette, but they've created the same formula and the same stuff, but downsized it to a $40 palette. I'm looking here. Beautylish has it for 40 bucks, just in that packaging where it looks like it kind of wraps around and magnetizes. So that's cool. But we're going to go into this and we're going to play with some warmth, but we're also going to have some richness in it too. So let's see where to begin. I think I'll start over here with this shade. It's kind of warm tan, and let's get that going in the crease. It's time to fall back in love with Viseart. And in the comments section, let me know what Viseart palettes you absolutely love. Dang, I could just do a Viseart week and just pull out a different palette that I have that's been underused for a week. Really pretty there. I could take a little bit of this peach. Sometimes I like this light peach. Not like a full-on highlight, but just playing around on the border of what I've done. Don't be surprised if that comes back at the end too, because I just really like the fade that it can give. Back when I was in high school, I would even take a peachy shadow and bring it up high because I felt like it brought life to my entire eye area. It was a matte peach single from CoverGirl. I never felt like my eye look was complete unless I raised that up above my eye. Yeah, I was onto something. It might have been the absolute only thing I was onto when I was that age. I'm going to take this little bit rosy looking brown. In comparison to its neighbors, it just looks like it's got a hint of rosiness in there and definitely more depth. And if you do get your hands on this palette, it's very, very pleasing to blend these shades together. They blend so flawlessly, so easily. And the colors they've put in are just masterfully selected. There's so much ease going one shade into the next. Never a struggle, even though they're highly, highly pigmented. As we're having our little blending fun here, let's go into this shade right here. More of a burgundy, definitely deeper. I'm still working with the same brush I started with. And look at how we're just wiggling that into the outer corner here. See that? Look at that pretty warmth radiating out. Oh, it blends so easily. Like I said, same brush. We're about to switch it up though. And I'm out of stevia, so I had to put plain sugar in my coffee today. It's not mixing. Here we go. In the midst of all this warmth, I want to come down to this cool plum. It's so dark. Really cool. Really pigmented. Patting over about half the lid. Flipping brush. That means the side that picked up color is now touching my crease. And we'll blend that in a second, but wowzers. That's what I want. This is the place I want to be in at all times, really. Somebody asked me to do a springy light look, and I gotta be honest with you. I don't love a springy light look even when it's spring. So I'm probably not gonna dive into that early in the wintertime. I probably will do it eventually, but it's winter, let me be. I like winter and I like dark looks. So now I'm just taking my Profusion small pointed brush. Sorry, I just got in my own little world there, but I'm swirling it into what was gently applied to the crease there. See how there's the applied stuff. It's not smooth, it's not blended yet. But you go in with a bare little brush like this, Profusion Small Pointed, and you just begin buffing it around. And it's buffing on top of those original shades that were applied, so it's smoothing out really easily, okay? And look at that, just whoosh, smoky plum straight into the warmth. And if you need more blending, which I think I kind of do right in here, I'm going straight back to the original crease brush. These shades are intense, you know. Don't be surprised if you need to do some extra blending, but just blend that over the outer edge. So good. Really, really rich. And then it's like, what do you want to go inward with? Do you want to keep it really dark? Do you want something a little lighter pulling in? I'm going to take a little of the peach and just let that come in, and it's always pretty. It always mixes well. If I did navy as my kind of like outer lid accent color instead of the plum, this peach would still look beautiful merging into that, but it looks really nice right now. I've always thought peach and plum are so ideal together, and this just proves it. And then I'm feeling the need to let plum continue under the eye just a little bit. Little goes a long way, but just let it come around and soften. I'm just on the tip of this Profusion Small Pointed brush. Go into your product with the tip of the brush. Don't get it loaded up on the sides. You're not using the sides. You're using the tip of the brush. Kind of connecting up to that outer corner. Sometimes I use this as a moment to further blend my outer corner. And then just let it ride. And then something I haven't done in a while is actually a dark inner rim. So I might do that today. But before I move along too quickly, I must do what I always do when there's powder on the lower lash line. Go into a little Kosas Cloud Set. This shade is Airy. And just dab under it. I don't know why it works, but it works. It keeps everything staying in place. You know, I like the Artist Color Pencil in Boundless Beige. Is it Boundless Beige or Boundless Bisque? Boundless Bisque so much on the lower inner rim. I'm going to go with that same line of product, but I'm going to use Dimensional Dark Brown 612. It's like a near black. And as I'm putting it in the lower inner rim, I'm also kind of smudging it within my lashes. Now, I weirdly got a little foundation up in my lash line too, so we'll cover that up. And then I'm going to take some along the upper lash line a little bit while I'm at it. I'm going to keep it really close and just kind of do that outer part. Really close in. I like these pencils. It's like a whole range of pencils, and some of them are really good on the lips, you know? Drama, bringing some drama. I might blend over now everything back with the Profusion Small Pointed brush. Nothing added to it. But just kind of making sure everything's equally soft one eye to the next. And then for my mascara, I thought I'd pull out this Maybelline Lash Sensational Mini that I have, and if I feel like there's not enough juice in that, I'll throw on Maybelline Sky High. Lash Sensational Sky High on top. That was just a really satisfying eye look for me. I'm glad I did it. So here's my mini. Yeah, I think this still got what it takes in there. I've never felt like minis give you an accurate look at what the mascara really does because it's a big full-size brush going into a little tube. And I just don't feel like it picks up the same, but this is doing all right for me right now. It's really making all of my lashes stand out, not sticking them together. I'm trying to figure out if Belle still has tumbling today and how I'm going to get out of the driveway, if she does. Okay, I'm going to need to abandon that eye and come back for another coat in a second because it's just a little bit wet. It needs a little pause in the building. I feel like my vehicle could drive through the snow. It's just that our driveway's got a hill, and that's sometimes a problem when any kind of snow or ice gets on it. Sometimes you can slide down, but you can't get back up. Okay, this mascara needs a pat on the back. Regular Old Lash Sensational. So good. I mean, it built really well. I just kind of had to pause between coats, so the building became a bit tedious and I turned off the camera, but finished like one more coat and I think it looks so good. And a little Cali Ray come hell or high water on the lower lashes. I'm really liking this eye look. Now for the lips, I'm going to use yet another Makeup Forever Artist Color pencil. This is the shade Up and Down Tan. Again, you can like use these pencils any way you wanted to. Like if you wanted this type of shade on the eyes, you could. But this is the line that has those viral shades like Anywhere Caffeine and Wherever Walnut. But yeah, I'm just doing a little outline and fill. Ooh, really pretty tone. And then I pulled out this Hourglass, one of their little clicky pen type things. This is the shade Trace, and the color, I should show you that. It's kind of caramely, so I'm going to put that over top. These are really shiny. Yet I feel like they give a lot of color. Really the look of color and gloss in one. With the lip, I sort of just wanted to echo the warm tones that were coming out of the eye look. And seeing it all done, I might add just a little shape to the eye. Taking a little bit of the plum, small pointed brush. Remember, we never did add product on this brush. This was strictly blending. But just seeing the whole thing come together, I want more lift out of it, out of the outer corner. So I'm just taking that little bit of product, very small amount, and letting it come out and up. See, just a little haze of plum. Same over here, starting in the crease where I first placed my brush, but then let's let it come up a little. If we're going for a dramatic eye look, let's do it. Let's go. And then didn't I say, don't be surprised if I come back for a little peach. And that's on the border. Yes. And here we are with that end look. I feel like it's kind of a warmer take on a wintertime dramatic makeup look. Really enjoyed shopping my stash for some underused products, and the next time you're feeling like a Sephora haul, I suggest you go through your own stuff first, and you can get that satisfaction of like, oh, I haven't used that in a while, haven't used that. And I just can't get over the look on the skin. The way the skin looks so juicy, and it's not just the highlighter, you know, it's really from the bottom out. That foundation was so nourishing, so hydrating, but yet covered so well, right? Love you. Love you. What? No, they reversed the snow day. You're actually going to school today. They said we don't probably need to have the snow day today. They do that sometimes. I'm kidding, Biddy. Hey, for all the days she's scared the living daylights out of me, I can trick her once. That's all I got, friends. I love you so much. Thank you for your time, and I will see you again very soon. Please tell me your video requests in the comments section, and I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.